You know, Rob, this is kind of funny.
What do you mean?
Well, the two of us on a blanket eating sandwiches.
What's funny about that?
Because we're pigs. We can't talk. That's what makes it seem very humorous. Are you with me?
What are you? A fathead?
Ladies and gentlemen, meet the boneheads.
It's the fatheads, you dolt!
Rocko,
Well then, why are you in my office?
we love your cartoon. But actually, that's not why we're here. We're here about your parents.
I have no parents.
No, actually, you do. Right next door to my house, you see. And they're having their 30th wedding anniversary on Saturday night. In the Viking room. Yes, in the Viking room at the Holiday Hotel. And they want you to be there, you see. They miss you, and they love your cartoon. It would mean a lot to them if you could be there.
I never want to see those two again. Never! 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 Never!
Say cheese.
Cheese.
Oh, fish sticks.
Why do they have nicknames?
You should know what the group is called. BAM.
BAM.
Big-ass motherfuckers.
Hey everybody, it's me, D, and it's DJ Sue.
Oh my God, what happened? What year is it? Where are we?
Well, all right.
Are we actually doing BAM?
All right. Listen to me. This is a new BAM. It is 2017, and the president is Donald Trump.
I'm kicking myself right now. I should have did the Kyle Reese bit where I go, "What day is it?
What
month is it? What's the date?" You say, DJ, it's Wednesday. What year? And you just look at me confused.
Who?
BAM has returned.
Took long enough.
We missed y'all.
We missed a lot of shit, man. I made a lot of promises. I felt like a bad bad ex-husband. I feel like a bad father. Just like, all right, son, now stay right there. I'm about to go to the store. I'm about to give me some cools, and I'm about to get you some bubble gum. What you like? All right, I got you. Never comes back.
And what makes it suck is, me being the co-host of this shit, I'm standing over here next to D. I got on a backwards cap. I got on a backwards cap. I got on a shirt with a baseball on the front of it, and I'm holding the glove, and I'm just throwing the ball, just catching the shit, and be like, all right, D, are we really gonna do this? Are we gonna talk about this show? Are we gonna talk about this show? Are we gonna talk about this movie and that movie? It's like, yeah, son. I just gotta go into the store real quick. You want something? Nah, I'm good. I'll wait right here.
I'm gonna get you a Gatorade.
I'm like, cool. Give me the either give me the red or grape, and if they don't have either one, give me blue.
You already talking too much shit, son. All right, see you. I got you.
I I don't see this dude. I don't see this dude come back. Meanwhile, we over here doing 3 Black Geeks episodes. I'm like, man, it sure would be nice if we could get back to doing Bam.
Why you gotta be crossing storylines, nigga? That's a different storyline. Like, what is a storyline in this shit? See, what it is that in this storyline, me and DJ Sue, we are actually aliens from a different planet. See, like, D, stop smoking weed. Just stop. Just don't. No more.
I swear, ever since they made weed legal back home, y'all done lost y'all damn minds.
Oh, you want to know that? It was an amazing thing I seen today. I have seen like the worst and the beautiful and the odd today in the hood today. And the odd was this. There was a bunch of cops around my area because of the bad that happened today. But this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. As I'm walking past them, they're asking them questions, right? The cops are asking everybody questions. And these niggas was rolling up weed in front of the cops. One was smoking. And the cops rolled away. Wow.
Today was a good day.
Did why you say, like, we also like, yeah, it was, that we saw, then all of a sudden inside your body you see yourself crying. Actually, it wasn't, because systematically the black race is still be held down. Oh gosh, when you feel low, whatever. But when the whole reason why Bam took a while is because I was not comfortable with anything, with recording anything. Also, when we usually record these things, I would like have to stay awake or we'll make some type of arrangement or whatever. And our arrangement was doing it at nighttime. Bad mistake, because I would fall the fuck to sleep. Anyway, so
that is true.
So
the time difference sucks, man. It really does.
It really
does.
We
make it work.
We you gotta try your best and make it, do what you gotta do, make it work. You know what I mean? So we tried our best, and now we're back, and finally we get to talk about what we've been we always wanted to talk about, which was continue on our O to O Town, which was which is the best of Rocko's Modern Life, and we only talk about the best of Rocko's Modern Life. Our last one got a positive response, and a whole lot of people liked it, and I'm glad y'all did, because it was Rocko's Modern Life. And come on, how do y'all keep just overlooking the cartoon that in a way started this gangster shit, and this the fucking thanks it gets, and we are giving it its thanks. So,
and to be honest, it's hard. It's really hard to find the quote unquote best episodes of Rocko's Modern Life, because I want to say about 99% of that show is solid. Like, every episode is solid, whether it's like one part. Since there's always 2 episodes within a 30-minute block, it's always one episode is really good and the other one is good, but it might not be as good as that first one. And sometimes it's the other way around, where the first one is kind of but the second one was better.
And it's
really hard. It's really hard to find like the quote unquote best episodes of this show.
And you would get them, the best episodes arguably will probably be between the second season and the third season. I don't think there were any like really of the best shows were in the middle of the of the show's lifetime, which was only 4 seasons. And that's why I say we only do the best of. It's only 4 seasons of the best of, and that's how many episodes is that? It's like what's that, like 50 something? How many of that y'all gonna do? We probably gonna talk about 30 damn episodes, knowing us. So today we're going to do 2, which were actually took up the whole 30-minute block or 22-minute block, whatever you want to call it, and that was both the Ralph Bighead episodes, and
the I Have No Son.
I Have No Son and Wacky Deli. What makes these 2 episodes very special is because it's voiced, the voice of Ralph Bighead is Joe Murray. And Joe Murray is the guy that really, he's the creator of the show. And this and Camp Lazlo was the 2 shows that everybody knows that he did. Everything else that he did, he was like, he worked in some type of any other kind of capacity, but it wasn't his creation. His 2 creations everybody knows, which is Camp Lazlo and Rocko's Modern Life. and both got the same treatment, in my opinion. And I think we talked about, well, we didn't talk about that too much, about Camp Laszlo's whole thing. But even Joe Murray was in a couple of episodes of Camp Laszlo. I remember hearing his voice, like, really? Really, dog? Now you gonna show up? And it was like more than one, too.
It's kind of funny because in this show, in Rocko's Modern Life, like two of the guys, who was it? Martin Olson and Lawrence. I'm trying to remember the other guys. I'm actually trying to remember his first name. Anyway, between Lawrence and Martin Olson, they convinced Joe to be the voice of Ralph Bighead. and the funny thing is that the character Ralph is actually. It's believed that Ralph is like a satire version of Joe Murray. Even though he's voiced by Joe, it's believed that this character is like a satirized version of Joe.
Yeah, that's how I always figured out it was going to be. Like, even though they said the story of the episode took it was basically more on the two writers of the episode. It was mainly on their lives. So even Joe Murray said to the extent it was he felt the same way. You can really tell the artist not getting in touch with the father, who's like, 9 to 5 and all that crap, yada yada yada, all about the company.
Yeah.
And like, oh my God, you want to be an artist? What you want to do? I want to draw cartoons. And I never understood white people, like, and the idea, and well, people in general, like, what you want to do? Draw cartoons? Faggot! Like, wow!
And to be honest, that's actually more of a television trope as well.
That is a television trope. Because the writer of this shit.
Son, that's a trope in itself.
Because the writer of this shit. I gotta express my life, man. I gotta be honest with you. At this point, your life has been 1,000 lives already. Okay, that you're like the guy that does this big thing at a wedding, but like, she's my best friend. Like, dude. 80 niggas gave this same speech today. You are not special. This episode was both episodes. Well, I Have No Son is focused on basically just that whole aspect of not even a prodigal son, but the son splitting away from his father. In Wacky Deli, it's the creator hating his own creation, wanting to make quote unquote real art. And
how many artists have actually gone through that in life?
And good God, my wife said to her this was Shia LaBeouf, and I was like, yeah, but people hated Shia LaBeouf when he was hot.
Right.
So
people actually hated him when he was doing movies and TV.
All of a sudden, when he started doing shit people cared about, it was like, all right, get this dickhead off television. All of a sudden, and just like Ralph Bighead, fools, you don't see.
You don't know what real art is.
Yo, it's gonna be like fit.
And you know what's ironic is that at the end of Wacky Deli, he ended up getting the same Shia LaBeouf beard.
That's exactly where I think my wife got it from too. This was an interesting day. I would never thought of the day I would actually sit back and actually be smoking a joint looking at Rocko's Modern Life. Oh my God, what has happened to me? This is either the best thing in my life or I really need to reevaluate myself as a person. But Joe, I enjoyed myself watching these two episodes so much. But let's get into the first one, which is I Have No Son, which slaps you right in the face. This is one of the biggest dick slaps in Rocko's Modern Life history, because off the bat you hear a gunshot. Boom, 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 boom. It's like, what the fuck am I watching?
That theme song, the Fatheads theme song.
Hey, look, you about to hear a DC word out of me. That shit crank. I don't give a fuck. That shit crank, nigga.
What was up with the way that they shot that opening? Did you get that You Can't Do that on television vibe from it.
Yes, it like a lot of oh man, you remember Courage the Cowardly Dog did the same thing for a while too. They did that same type of shit, man, where they just get all real life photos and put them in the animation. They did that a lot in the 90s, man. They loved doing that in the 90s. That was a cool thing, I guess. That was I guess
a real cool thing.
that was like putting a GIF on Twitter. I don't know.
Yeah, like no, it was like seeing a GIF on the internet, like back in the early days.
Oh snap, man! It sparkles. Think to myself, why does it look so off the wall? And then it hits me. This is how a cartoon is supposed to look within a cartoon. Ah, no wonder it looks retarded. What is going on with their feet? It's like they don't even walk. You just see the bottom of their boots just wiggle as they move. What is that?
They put them in some Charlie Brown rain boots.
Yo, man.
Whack each other with parking meters.
Dude, I was laughing like a motherfucker when she like started taking people out of his mouth. He ate a mime and shit like that. I was like, what the hell? He ate a door-to-door salesman, I think, or Jehovah's Witness, maybe. I don't know. But I'm like, he ate a little girl. I'm like, this is so stupid. I was like, it was so off the wall. And then you leave the old scene, and it's Rocko and Filbert. They're laughing at it, and it says created by Ralph Bighead. It was like, Ralph Bighead. Hey, do you think now? Here's my
haul ass.
Now here's
haul
my
ass over to the next door neighbors.
Now here's my question. Hey Rocko, yes. How many times have you seen this cartoon? Oh, I love the fat heads. Okay, so you just now question Ralph Bighead. I love Rocko's Modern Life. I just want to tell you, everybody, I love Rocko's Modern Life. I love it to death. I love this show. I love Rocko's Modern Life. That doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense. But anyway, so just go with the fucking plot. But anyway, we go over to the big heads, and the big heads are looking at the show, crying in sadness and saying that, oh, he make us look like a couple of frogs. I'm like, you never mind, whatever. And then they go over there, then they go over to that, Rocko go over there, knocks on the door. He's like, are you late to Ralph Bighead? I have no son. I'm like, yo, Charlie Adner. Dude, why are you so theatrical, nigga? You are just so...
I love that guy.
Charlie Adler.
Like, to me, Charlie Adler is still one of my favorite voice actors.
Still doing it today. The last thing I actually really heard him on was Transformers. That's the last thing I heard him do. Background voices on one show, but I'm not really sure what it was. I think it was Uncle Grandpa, but I'm just still amazed that he's like, I'm not really amazed at it. Come on, he's one of the best. So it's just that he's not the main star like he was in the mid to late 90s like he used to be. You know what I mean? He's not the main attraction, which is fine. You know what I mean? Which is fine. It's just fine we all of a sudden like, hey, it's Charlie. He's in this episode. So
now, as Rocko, with Rocko being over at the Big Heads trying to figure out if Ralph is their son, which is quite painfully obvious that he is.
Yeah, because there's no other big heads in this universe.
Yeah, like I love how she pulls out this photo album, and you get this, and in this photo album you get to see like the entire lifespan of Ralph Bighead, all the way up to the point where he was an adult. Like you saw him when he was just like a blob with like 9 eyeballs for some weird reason.
Yeah, because he was frog's eggs, and then he became a tadpole, which made me say, so, yo, Bev, you got like 6 other kids. Wait a minute, what happened to them?
And better yet, Bev, how are these photos taken?
So, no, hold on. So this is like some Chinese shit that go down in Old Town where you only kept like 1 kid or some shit. This is because the toads might reproduce too much. That's like the Buddy family. Like,
or make it even worse. it's on some Only the Strong Survive, and all the other kids fought to the death, and Ralph was the only one that survived.
The Dark Life of Ralph Bighead. But I don't know. We're digging too much on that one. But I like how she tells him to go to Hollywood and get him back, and she gives Rocko $3.
No. It's Rocko's Modern Life. The staple currency amount is always $5.
I thought it was $5. I thought she said $3. Whatever. Doesn't matter.
No, she gave him $5. It's always $5.
$5.
Dude, look at any Rocko's Modern Life episode, and you always see like the default number of currency is always $5.
This is sort of like the dude that made Birdemic, man. It's like all his movies. Every time they make a number, like how much money you got? I got $1 million. Like really, $1 million. $1
million.
I know. You go to the set standard currency. No, it was like this. It was like, wait a minute. So the sale was for $1 million and you gave him a 50% discount? You idiot! What is your problem? That makes no sense.
So get back to the episode. Rocko and Filbert decide to take the trip to Hollywood.
I like how Rocko left Spunky food and Spunky ate all the food at once. Let me tell you something. My dog did that one time and she was hungry as shit when we came back 2 days later because I like, you ate that dang. She ate it. I knew she ate it in one day because the whole it was like she ate it in one day. Fat ass dog.
He's like, I just hope Spunky will be alright. I left plenty of food out for him.
Shit.
He left like 20 open cans.
Let me tell you something.
Just destroyed it.
Let me tell you something. If you got like a big ass Rottweiler, you better get that nigga a ham and just let him go out for the next 2 days.
Just let him gnaw on it for about a good 3 weeks.
Let him just gnaw on that shit, man. Because dogs will eat up dog food faster than they even know it, man. Especially if they run around the house just jumping off of shit, backflipping. But anyway.
Now, did you like how when they made it to Hollywood, it was nothing more than a giant cardboard cutout sign?
Yeah, Hollywood's so fake. There's a lot of social commentary in these 2 episodes that we're going to be talking about.
You got Filbert being the super tourist.
Yeah.
Taking pictures of everything.
That was basically the sound. That was the music, man.
I like when they get to the studio, and they're not greeted by a person. They're greeted by a hand holding a smiley face sign.
He smacks the shit out of Rocko because they keep on asking for like, we want to speak to Ralph Bighead.
I remember it. I remember. He's like, "Welcome to Bighead Studios. Did you come here for the studio tour?" No, we actually came here to see Ralph Bighead. Smacks the hell out of him and says, "Now, let's try that again." Welcome to Bighead Studios. Did you come here for our exciting studio tour? And then Rocko is hesitating to answer, and he's like, you see the hand shaking like he's getting ready to smack him again, and then Rocko's like, yeah, we actually, we'd love to be here for the tour.
Oh my gosh, man. I was laughing like a motherfucker. He was going to slap the shit out of that nigga a second time. They get on the studio tour, and I love how studio tours are always pretty much the same shit. Take you here, take you there, take you here, take you there. Check out this exclusive thing. This shit is not exclusive. You did this an hour ago.
All while riding around on a shitty golf cart.
On a shitty golf cart. Yes, it's hot as a motherfucker. But hey, you do it anyway because you want to be driven around. And like, hey, I want to see this. You know what? Whatever. It's all good. It's all good.
Now the first place that they go into, and we're immediately greeted with a fourth wall breaking joke. They open the door of the screenplay room, or like the screenwriter's room, and we see the guy like going play by play saying, yeah, so Rocko, Filbert, and the Rhino guy, they're gonna open up the door here, and sorry, wrong cartoon.
Duh. You know they was gonna
Which made me wonder, okay, was everybody that was animated in that shot, was that was that the cast that? Well, not the cast. Was that the crew of this show?
Now, I did read something where they said they kind of did draw people into this episode, but I don't know where at and when. So I was thinking like the second time where they showed them when they went to the other screenwriters room, I'm thinking like maybe them, but you know, it's never been. And I never seen nothing definite. That'd be a good question to ask too. You know what I mean? I don't know nothing definite on that one. And that was funny because they went in there. It was like, huh? It was like a normal joke. It wasn't even funny.
How about when they get to the other rooms, the pitching idea room, and their pitching idea was like for a Fathead episodes is like it's the husband and wife. They're standing in one shot. Then the wife reaches off panel. Like, she reaches out of frame for the phone and just says hello. What do you think? Good idea? Yes?
I'm like, hey, guess what? We see that like 5 times in this show. They really do that. Like I was thinking like they get a lot of mileage out of that thing in the Fathead or something. The hello. They get a lot of mileage out of that shit.
They do.
Then they went over.
And then they ended up in the artist room, where there's a big sign written on it that says "Don't touch the glass."
Everybody's drawing the same thing over and over again, which is a telephone. Which I'm thinking to myself, there's a joke in this. There's a real life joke in this. I just don't know where it's at.
I really thought that same thing. I'm like, something tells me there's like a real hidden joke behind all of this.
It is
like,
enough.
why do you have like 12 artists drawing a picture of a phone?
That sounds like something Nickelodeon would have the artists do for no fucking reason.
So then they go to this other room where we get to see the Chameleon Brothers.
Go ahead, shake it, honey. Yeah, whoa, ooh, oh. So that's how they do it.
Like, oh, so that's how they do it. No, those guys are idiots.
I love that shit.
The next part before that, they actually went to the screening room.
Oh yeah, they went
to
the
screening.
screening.
Inside a theater, and they were looking at an unfinished episode of the Fatheads where it was just pencil drawing. It wasn't even color.
You know what? There was one thing I wanted to mention about the Fatheads.
They actually saw Ralph Bighead there. Well, they didn't see him, but he was there in the room.
Yeah, that's the thing I wanted to ask about the Bigheads that really kind of... I need to mention this. It was the only reason I really did laugh at the Fatheads. Who is that dude in the background laughing his ass off?
I know what you're talking about.
That dude is having the time of his life. I mean, he's like halfway coughing, laughing too, yo. He's like... that type of laughing. Yo, bruh. This nigga's dying, son.
I always wondered that. Like who is that laughing? Better yet, who is that laughing like for real? Like who did they get to go into the booth and just do this uncontrollable laugh?
I'm like, man, who smoked a joint and a half, which was almost deadly in 1995? Who smoked a joint and a half and go into the studio and laugh at his ass off? Oh my gosh, man. But yeah, they saw Ralph Bighead right there and we're like, where's the paint? Where's the paint? It's like, I'm like, yo, like, hey, that's the way it's supposed to look. That doesn't make any, like, but they were like, yes, RB, yes. Like, he had a whole lot of yes men around him. And then that's when they went to merchandise. And I laughed my butt off.
Merchandise was inside of that tiny little booth.
And I laughed how all the merchandise looked the same, but yet filled with like I take this, I take those, I take these, I take those, I take 2 of those, take 3 of those, take 3 of those, this and that, and this and that. And I'll take 2 of those.
Now hold on, D. He didn't just say I'll take this and I'll take that. Remember, he had the implosion where he turned into a rocket. and he said just before he exploded, toys. And ladies and gentlemen, you pretty much see me and our good buddy CJ at Comic-Con when we go into the dealer's room on preview night.
Man, you know, it's like the main reason why cons exist. And I was telling my mom that, and my mom was like, "So what do y'all interview?" Like, yeah, they interview the people that make the toys. And my mom was like, "Why? Why does that matter?" Like, that actually fucking matters, mom, because people actually look at these people and like what type of model sets. I mean, it's the lifeblood of the industry. Say what you will. The reason why some of these shows have been around since the 1960s is because they still know how to sell them. They still know what type of merchandise to sell to people, and that's just amazing. And that's kind of funny. There's not a lot of merchandise for Rocko's Modern Life.
There's not. I mean, there might have been like a Rocko plush toy. There might have been plush toys of the Rocko.
Oh yeah, there
characters.
definitely were. There definitely were. I remember I never forget. I went to Keys Dominion, and I came so close to getting a Rocko plush toy. I was so crestfallen, man, because that was like, because I never won I didn't win a carnival game until 1998, son, and I was already in high school. I never won carnival games. You know what I mean? So that one,
you know what sucks is that, like you said, there was not a lot of merchandise for Rocko back then.
Not a lot. Well, I mean, they had video games. They had a video game.
And anytime you did see any merchandise, only thing you saw besides the TV show, there was a Rocko's Modern Life comic book, which I owned.
I did too.
And there was also, like, if you actually did get a Rocko plush, 9 times out of 10, it would just be Rocko. You'd be lucky if it came with Spunky.
Nah, I never see. Did I? I remember seeing Spunky, maybe.
Like, no, and what I mean is, like, if you saw Spunky, he would literally be attached to Rocko. They never sold him separately. Now, Filbert's going nuts, going through all the merchandise, and my favorite, like, one of my favorite parts of that was he was like he was just going through like one plush doll after another, and he sees one item. It turned, I think, what was it? It was the wife. It was the wife that had. It was the shower cap.
Is that shower? I would say is that a shower cap, man.
Like it was either a shower cap or the hat or whatever, but that flower hat that she wears on the show, and he's like, look. Oh God, but it's so expensive. Oh, what the hey? I'll buy it.
I was like, yo.
Again, this is the sound of con goers before cons were a thing.
No, you know what this sounds like today? Oh my God, I need to get that Funko. I need to get that Funko. Like, yeah, it's the same stuff. Gotta get Lego this. I gotta get Lego that. Gotta get a painting. That's how all of us are, man. It's what keeps them alive. You want to know why Doctor Who stayed around?
Merchandising. How many people bought a coffee mug of that damn phone booth?
Dude, man. Only reason why Zelda stayed around, Legend of Zelda stayed around was because of the merchandise. Okay, a little bit of good gameplay, but the point is this. Not always like. But you know what? Rocko had video games. They had a video game.
Yeah, Rocko had video games.
Hey,
there were different types of media, but when I'm talking about merchandising, I mean like T-shirts or like toys or plush dolls, which they did exist, but I really believe for Rocko, it was only like one run of each individual piece of merchandising.
I think with Rocko, the only one I saw was like the standard Rocko's Modern Life shirt. I think that's the most I've ever seen from it. Really, I remember seeing a Rocko.
His triangle shirt?
No. And amazingly, wonder how that never became a thing. Who knew? Whatever. That was never a thing, I guess. You know what I mean? Whatever. But no, I mean they had not a shirt. Like on the shirt, it was like, like Rocko just standing there, Rocko's Modern Life, like that. You know what I mean? Like a standard T-shirt.
Just like basically a picture of Rocko on a T-shirt.
Yeah, something like that. You know what I mean? Something like that. I do remember one where it was like Spunky all over or something like that. It was like it was like some boxers or something, but that was about it, if anything. I don't remember nothing. And while it didn't piss me off as a kid, it was one of those things because when you're a kid, you want to see your favorite person everywhere. That's why merchandise is the way it is today, is because you grow up with a set of children who are now adults that want to see their favorite person everywhere. You know what I mean? And when you don't see that person there, we freak the fuck out. That's why we have a whole lot of people that freak the fuck out when somebody in Marvel's not there. Even when the story doesn't even call for them to fucking be there, you want them to be there. So that's how it is, man. Fandom. That's how fandom really works. All for merchandising, really. And if it makes you say, if Rocko was a better seller, do you think it'll be still around? Yeah, of course so. Because you're still making money off it. Why do you think SpongeBob is still around? That's the main reason.
But then again, even if Rocko was a better seller, it's ultimately up to the creator to decide whether or not to keep the show going. And I think probably by the end of the third season, I do believe that Joe Murray was like, you know what, I got one more season and then I'm done.
Yeah, just because I think that's what's going to make it so fun. That actually kind of goes in a wacky deli. So anyway, but let's go over this one. So finally, Rocko hears Ralph's entourage walk past him saying, call him RB, and Rocko's like, RB, that's it, Philbert, let's go. And the total of the merchandise came up to, how much was the total of the merchandise? Like $300 something?
I think it was like $300 something. It was roughly like around $400.
Here's me. Yo, for real? That's it? Just $300 something dollars?
Like all that stuff he pointed out, I'm like, damn, and this is 1994 money.
So with inflation, that will be, yo, for real, Filbert. Yo, Dr. Hutchinson fucked you up when she got home. Filbert, why did you spend $600?
Hold on, they weren't even together at that time.
No, they weren't until the end of this season. Yeah, you got me on that one. There you go. Good continuity. That's what I'm talking about. You see, that's what I'm talking about, nigga. You on your fucking toes, my nigga. You on your fucking toes, my nigga. Like, for real, man. But yeah, nah, man, that's a fight waiting to happen. Filbert, you spent $600? Just imagine, yeah. I go hold Angie. Hey, Angie, I have fun at MagFest. That is like almost 5 blocks. That's down the highway for me, nigga. That's not at all. That's no way. That's not even. That's nothing. That's not even like 10 miles away from me. Okay. And I tell my wife I spent $600 at MagFest. She will fuck me up. It is over. It is over. You did what? How many dolls? You are a grown man. You don't need plush dolls. Why do you need plush dolls? Oh.
Here's Filbert. But it was worth every penny, though.
Yeah, man. You know what? Filbert, actually, real talk, I think Filbert got a trust fund. Because he spent money. He's got a trust fund, but he lives in a trailer park.
Either he is very smart with his money, or he's just a cheap ass.
It's about him. It's between the two, because he does give off the Jewish, I don't want to give out money type of vibe, but then at the same time he spend money like a black dude. Like, Filbert, why do you have that? You don't even need that. One of our favorite episodes, it was one of my favorite episodes, I don't know about you, was Fish and Chunks.
Oh, I love that episode.
Oh my gosh, that is one of my favorite ones, where Filbert buys a fucking watch and he keeps on going, hey, ask me what time it is.
Ask me what time it is.
It's like, yo, this nigga spends his money like a black dude with good credit, young. He's like, yo, sit the fuck down, bruh. Why you buying unnecessary shit? So anyway.
Yeah, they follow the entourage into his office, and it's funny how they got into his office real easy. They ain't had to finesse or nothing. They just rolled right in as if they were yes men.
But then again, they walked in there calling yes, Mr. Bighead. Yeah, yes, Mr. Bighead. And they walk into the office like, you're all fired! In that same type of tone, too.
Which, again, one of the very rare times you actually hear Joe Murray yell as a character. And he really doesn't.
And that being said, you have heard Joe Murray in several other episodes. Now, while he was in more episodes of Camp Lazlo than Rocko, it's still like, background noises that he did on Rocko's Modern Life, if you ever heard him again. You know what I mean? Or like somebody like, hey, put me down, or some kind of like, oh, that was Joe. Something like that,
But I do like that that low serious voice that he used for Ralph Bighead. Like he's in his office just like sketching some shit, and then he notices Rocko and Filbert and says, "I thought I fired you," and well, we don't work for you. Did you like how he threw up the one eyebrow and you hear the sound of like a garage door closing?
Yeah.
Well then, why are you in my office? We love your cartoon.
Right there.
Well,
Security.
that's not why we're here.
Right there. Security. Get him.
So Rocko explains to them, he explains to them, like, look, your parents are my next door neighbors. They're having their wedding anniversary, and they want you to come home. They miss you, and they would really like for you to be there.
Yeah, it's gonna be at the Viking Hall.
Like,
it's gonna be.
And besides all, and on top of all of that, here's Filbert again. They love your cartoon.
No, they don't. It's gonna be in the Viking room too. Yeah, it's gonna be in the Viking room at the hotel down there. It's gonna be lit. I know all the reptiles of O Town gonna be down there. So your dad, he big in the reptile community. I laugh, but I'm actually kind of serious. I think
So he tells him, if you could just come back to O Town, and be there for the anniversary, that would be good. And so Ralph again going serious mode. It's like I never want to hear from those two again.
Never.
This started.
Never.
This became you know what? You want to see a meme in a cartoon before memeing was a thing? Watch Ralph Bighead just go on a rant and just do random shit while saying never.
Yo, Nickelodeon played that never clip every now and then. They ain't play it as much as they should. But then again, there was no point. But then again, that's some shit that kids love. Never. That nigga had a bomb in his hand. Did little.
He had a bomb in it.
Dancers. Never.
I love the bomb in his hand. I love the what was it? He was doing like a stage dance or something.
Yeah.
It was like a whole group of them with one leg up saying never.
That motherfucker, Philbert got a picture of him getting the door slammed in his face. So
he's like, please say cheese. Slams the door and only got a picture of the door.
So what we find out is that Ralph has a bit of a background with, well, not bit of a background. The background with him and his dad is very simple. Ralph was supposed to be, I guess, the protege, his father's protege, or the next in line to get a big promotion at Conglobo. He was going to be a part of the Conglobo family, and I guess he was just going to be a salary man.
From what I remember, he was brought in, like you said, like he was supposed to be the protege. He was supposed to be the next person in line to to be in the company.
The Bighead tradition.
Yeah, he was being introduced into the company, like, bruh, as soon as you're done with school, man, like, here, you can come, like, we got a job waiting for you. It was one of those situations. And we also brought up what was brought up in that flashback was the donut.
Yeah, the crusty ass donut. Crusty ass pink donut.
It's like a crusty donut between father and son that work for the same company.
Yeah.
So Ed decides to split it. Now, keep in mind, when you hear proud Ed Bighead, this is Charlie Adler having fun.
This is Charlie Adler. If like, Charlie, I want you to play homosexual father if he is acting like a straight father, if he's proud of his son. Perfect. I got it. This day is the greatest day of my life. Like, perfect.
I invite all of you here to watch me and my son as we break this golden ring of dough in front, like, for Conglamo.
Now, because Ralph is an artist, and I feel you, my nigga, you don't want to be a pencil pusher. I understand that shit. Nobody wants to be a salary man. Let's just be honest. We all watch anime. We know where this is going. I don't want to have your life. I'm sorry, Ralph. What you say? I don't want your life. That's what we pretty much got.
Now, did you like how he said, "Son, make me proud"? He hands him the donut. Ralph really has that look like, I don't want to be here. But at the same time, I know what's about to take place. What I'm about to say is going to ultimately destroy my father. And I gotta live with it. Now, he's already not trying to touch the donut, let alone, he's not trying to touch the donut, let alone break it. And I like how everybody in the office is freaking out. They're like, he's not touching the donut. Like, what's going on here? Why is he not touching the donut? He's not trying to break it. I don't understand it. Does he not want to be part of Conglamo?
My boy, pestilence will befall us all.
Thank you. That was the line I was looking for.
That's my nigga. This dude knows what's going on. This dude knows what's going on. He knows that the world is over if Ralph don't break this damn donut.
So then we get angry, Charlie Adler. For the last time, break that donut!
And it gets me. I'm
Finally,
like,
breaks the donut, invites him up for a speech, and Ralph is like, okay, you just couldn't take the hint, so I'm just going to do this. He's like, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to work at Conglamo. In fact, I'm moving to Hollywood.
and everybody's all screaming at the top of their lungs too. Ah!
Like they're screaming at the end of every sentence, and he's like, I'm moving to Hollywood to be a cartoonist.
Oh my God, you might as well say I'm moving to Hollywood to be a hairdresser because they didn't care. You want to be different. No!
Everyone freaks out.
I like how out of
Everyone gets so
nowhere.
appalled, and they freak out of the office. And
I
you would
mean,
think that the whole building was about to come down, but you love it when everybody runs out of an office and you see that one lonely spinning chair.
I like how the one. I like how the one. I like how one person all jumped out and did a full somersault out the motherfucking window. It's like this nigga just gonna open the. Here's my question: Why y'all committing suicide though? Well, I guess I get it. That's symbolism. People take it all seriously. It ain't that damn serious, but people go off the edge. Nowadays, we call it Facebook. Anyway, but I like how there's a reporter. There's a little reporter out of nowhere. Mr. Bighead, let me get this right. Did your son just say that I have no son? I was like, yo, again, Charlie Adler playing gay father who is playing straight. Being ashamed of his son.
So then we come back to the anniversary party.
Yeah.
And
it's right there in the
we see like
right
the
there
entire
in the,
Bighead family.
you know, it's right there in the Viking Hall, right there in the Marriott. It's all nice and shit. Again, Ralph is a big part. Not Ralph, but Ed is a big part of the reptile community. Niggas make money off of him.
How about that one relative who ate the flies off of that tray that Rocko was serving, and did he actually start hitting on Rocko?
Yeah, I smelled your sausages or some shit like that. Just some old crazy dude that mistaken on Rocko for a chick, I guess, or I don't know. I don't want to know, man. That being also said,
that being tossed up in the air and gets snatched down by the tongue.
You know what? I gotta be real honest with you. Of all the toads, hey Bev, you the best looking one here. I don't understand. The rest of these motherfuckers ugly as hell, man. There ain't one good looking chick in this whole thing except you, Bam. You go ahead and work it, girl.
like real talk, real talk. Ed better be blessed that he got you.
You know what I was
thick as hell.
Oh, thank you, darling. every time, you know, Bam is wearing. She's wearing that eyeshadow that's way too fucking heavy, but she want to look good.
Hold on. So you telling me that? Are you telling me that Beverly's style, like the way that she looks on the show, is that of an Italian gangster from Jersey?
Something like that. Something like that. Equal to big black woman in the 1990s. Just look, it's like a big black woman in the 1990s, less jewelry. That's all it is.
So Ralph actually shows up at the party.
Oh man, yes he does. And being a dickhead that he is, like, what the fuck is you doing here, nigga? I'm like, yo, that's your kid, nigga. I'm like, damn.
He's like, look, this little beaver guy came to Hollywood and told me that you wanted me here.
All right, you know what? We gotta be real. Ralph Bighead's a racist. And Ed Bighead's a racist too. Let's be real. They are some racist motherfuckers. Why do you...
All right, explain to me, Dave.
Okay.
Why is he racist?
Okay. First off, you know I'm a fucking wallaby, nigga.
Okay,
you can't even get... Look, if you call me kangaroo... Look.
That would make everybody racist in no doubt.
Look. Also, yeah, that will make everybody racist, and I'm good with that.
If I was in Rocko's shoes and I hear somebody call me kangaroo boy, that's like one of those condescending nicknames that people give you, like an older person would call you son or kid or sport.
Yeah, sort of like that. Actually, if he called me kangaroo boy, that'd be like, yo, that'd be like calling it, like, yeah, you Indian motherfucker. Like, nigga, I'm Pakistani, nigga. For real, let's go. Let's go, bruh. I'm Pakistani, nigga. Don't be calling me Indian, nigga. They be flexing hard as... Don't get that wrong, seriously. Never get that shit wrong. They take that shit for real.
Right, because that reminds me of that joke from Booty Call.
Oh yeah, they did that Booty Call.
He was about to hold up the liquor store, and he said, listen here, you Pakistani piece of shit. Hey, first of all, we ain't Pakistani, we're Punjabis. Get that shit right.
like, don't get there. Yo, man, like, you know that dude Just Ray, he's gonna do some shit like he did some shit already. Like, but no, I'm not Arabic. I'm Sikh. That's something else. Like, no, so you're Indian. Like, yeah, I'm Indian, but no, just call me Punjab. Why do you call me? Like, I've been telling you what I am. Why are you getting it wrong? You know, but you're all the same. We are not the same. Like, I like, that has to be frustrating. But anyway, but yeah, let's just be real. The Bigheads are racist, man.
That, he came here because you wanted me here, and then, of course, Ed being a dick saying, look, I didn't want you here. It's like, all right, fine, whatever you want, Dad. Reaches into his shirt. Everybody's freaking out thinking he's going to pull out a gun.
It's like, yo, you don't know why? I don't know. This will be an awesome time. Yo, Ralph shot his dad at his anniversary. Whoa. For real, that nigga. That's that dramatic shit. I told you Ralph was... I told y'all Ralph was dramatic. Y'all didn't want to listen to him.
So... Instead, he just pulls out the other half of the donut and just threw it on the table and just walked away. Ed looks at it and he's like, "What? He just found out. He realized that his son actually kept the other half of that donut all these years."
Yeah. Now,
which I gotta ask. You know how long ago that was? That thing should be like petrified by now.
I like how the thing was it was like falling apart. I was like, I'm surprised that thing lasted in the napkin it was in his shirt. But
I'm still amazed that it was that the frosting and the sprinkles was still able to hold together.
You know, man, golly, that donut had to be at the very least 6 years old. You know what I mean? Like, yo.
Hey, Betty, Ed, you've been carrying it around in your pocket all this time?
I'm like, yeah, yeah. Why has Ed been carrying it around? Yeah, but I like it. But that being said, it was like he was all crying, like, son, you do care about Conglombo. No, Dad, I don't care about that. I care about you. Oh, and everybody actually goes, oh, like, yeah, you get that
He
part.
knows that he does, and right after he hugs him, and he's like, he's like, everyone, this is my son. He's all proud and stuff. I like how he hugged him. He said, now, son, you make a lot of money. And he's like, all right, look. He's like, here's my pay stub.
And nigga, you know that's gonna happen with me. Like, you make a lot of money with that 3 by geek shit. Nah, not really.
Like, it's gonna be, dude. It's gonna be one. Like, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen one of these days, man. Where we're gonna be sitting in a diner or something, or wherever.
I like how after all that, it was like, because Rocko was swinging from the ceiling, not the ceiling fan, from the light, and he was like, "Hey." We're like, hey, Mr. Bighead, can we knock down the piano? Piano? Well, go ahead. I'm like, and that day, Rocko was beaten into an inch of his life.
So then we're brought to a new season of the Fatheads.
Which got a new character on there.
Yeah, a new character was brought on, a character named Rollo.
The Beaver.
Yeah, Rollo the Beaver.
And I like how Rocko.
Rocko.
And I like how Rocko just stopped smiling.
He immediately stopped smiling, and the fact that they gave Rollo like the shittiest Australian accent.
Well, we got some like, what are we doing, mate? Yeah, mate. What are we doing, mate? Oh, we got some pineapples, mate. I'm like, and Rocko had this look like, y'all racist ass niggas. I can't be in America no more. Rocko had that look.
This would be like the equivalent of Rocko seeing a character that's supposed to portray him to be totally blackface.
That's what it was almost. It was almost black-faced. And Rocko had this look like, y'all just sit here thinking this shit is fun. Filbert, for real, nigga. Of all people, you, Filbert? You laughing, Filbert? I mean, of course, what happened on there? Nothing happened on there. It was a stupid, random cartoon within a cartoon, random acts of violence. So,
it's like they all got hit with pineapples, and Rocco's like, I don't like this show anymore.
And at the very, very end, Heifer's like, hey! I don't get it. And then all that changes by the episode Wacky Deli, which takes place in the 3rd season, almost the end of the 3rd season. Now, this episode is really interesting. Now, where we see Ralph Bighead in the middle of his career of doing the Fatheads, he is on top of the world. Now, suddenly, well, not suddenly, but he does his last episode of Fatheads, which is funny. They show a clip that we actually seen from the last episode of what we see for I Have No Son, which is basically you lower your voice. And they do that whole, he do that whole thing. He's like, finally, after all this time, I can actually stop doing it and actually do some real art. Now, yes, the art was a fruit bowl. Basically, the grapes, the apple, the banana, that shit. He was just saying real art. Now, I gotta be real with you, Eris. This whole episode is symbolism.
Oh, it's total symbolism.
Total.
The production behind this particular episode, Joe Murray described Wacky Dilly as one of his favorite episodes because it addressed a number of issues that affected him, the directors, and the writers.
Yep. And I think anybody that works in any type of art form for a long time, that you've been crushing it, even if it is your crown jewel and it's ran its course, you have hit this wall of, I am fucking done of doing this. I have mass produced something I love to the end of its term, and I'm done with it, and I can go on to do something different. And You can't because you're stuck within a contract. And that's what Ralph was stuck. He was stuck within a contract. We have seen this happen. And we have seen this happen in animation a bunch of times too. We've seen a couple people either renew it and just keep it going because they really legit enjoy what they are doing. Like we can see Butch Hartman. Butch Hartman clearly enjoys doing Fairly Odd Parents. You know what I mean? He doesn't care if he gets 1 billion seasons. He's going to keep on doing that thing as long as he possibly can. Same thing goes, you see it, I think, The Simpsons to the extent, but I think they're just stuck in this long-term contract they can't break. It's like it's like Al Brooks and, it's like, is it Al Brooks? I think it is Al Brooks, right? One of the producers.
It's not James Brooks anymore.
No. It's I forgot the other producer who does it, but those people, no, they're not gonna let go. They want the Simpsons to stay the crown jewel of Fox, which kills me, but whatever. But you see artists all the time get stuck within a contract. Even musicians get stuck within that same type of thing. So this whole episode really addresses that, and Ralph is pissed off that he cannot get out of his contract, and he has to. And I like how they say he needs a new show by Monday. I'm like, Monday?
I can see if they said, give us another episode. But no, you got to come up with an entirely different show before you can get out of your contract.
And you know what? I think if you're an animator, everybody agrees to probably I want to have 2 shows on the network. You know what I mean? I think everybody agrees to that. But I think what nobody realizes that, yeah, you do. But how burnt out and tired are you going to be if your first show is a freaking hit? And that's what happened to Ralph. He was like, I don't want to.
His show became such a hit. Like, his show became a hit that he became sick of the show.
He became sick of it and so burnt out. Everybody has hit and it was so funny because after he's done, it's like you have to have a new show. He goes back home where everybody's having a party about it. It's like, oh, we're not going to see the fans no more. And now Heifer is now a fan. He's now a fan of the show. So there you go. Time to do that. Hey, that 6th season of the Fans was a shit.
Ralph has to come up with an idea he has to come up with another show. And instead, he says, you know what? I'm going to give it to Rocko, Filbert, and Heifer. I'm going to let the 3 of you have 100% free reign in creating a new show, hoping that their ineptitude would get Ralph out of his contract if the show is that bad.
Now that's what the funny thing, because Heifer's like, yeah, you can make it about deli meats, like deli meats.
Everybody's like, what the hell? That's like Heifer. That's the stupidest idea I've ever heard in my life. Here's Ralph. No, that could work.
And I like how
about deli meats.
And then Mr. Bighead had me wrong. He's like, come here for a second. Come here for a second, son. Are you crazy?
Yeah, I love that.
I'm like, yo.
Dad. He said, no, like, Dad, I'm not crazy. This could work. If the 3 of them make a show that's so awful, they would have no choice but to let me out of my contract.
It's like, oh, all right.
I could be free.
Now this is where the funness of this episode really starts beginning, because
before we get to the funness, let's think about this in real life terms. How many times has this happened where somebody would be banking on an idea that's so terrible that it can get them out of their current situation, but instead it ends up turning into like one of the greatest things that ever thought possible, and they're stuck with it?
And in this case, it was a little bit different, because while Ralph Bighead was the creator of the show, he was more so of a executive producer, meaning that this was even more of a hell for him, because he has total reign of the show and he cannot stop what is coming at him. So, we'll get to that. He
gave total free reign to Rocko, Heifer, and Filbert. He let them do anything that they wanted to do with the show, and all he had to do was just turn it in.
Now, what made this so funny was he dropped them off at Hollywood and told, like, you got...
Bighead Studios. bucks.
And he like, here's $20. That should cover everything you need. I was like, okay, I get this joke. Especially in the 90s. Well, at least nowadays, most pilots are done on Flash. And Flash animation can range from really, really good looking Newgrounds videos to, wow, that's not bad. You know what I mean? So for a Flash, you know what I mean? So it's a little bit better looking nowadays. But even then, the ones that are hand drawn, it's kind of like, that's rough. Like Rocko's pilot, which is actually the Garbage Day episode. That's actually the pilot of the show. That episode looked rough.
Isn't that funny how that was the third episode, but the third episode was actually the pilot episode.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Who knew? But those I think that's how it goes too. I think there was another show that did the same way like that, had that same type of setup. I think I'm not even gonna sit here and guess, but Adventure Time was actually like that. Adventure Time was weird, but no. Adventure Time actually did. The show premiered on Nickelodeon as like a part, like it was like on one of those variety cartoon shows where it shows like 3 different shows, three different cartoons and all that, and Adventure Time was on it, and it got picked up on Nickelodeon. I mean, they didn't get picked on Nickelodeon. It got picked up on Cartoon Network. So that was weird. That was a little bit different. But anyway.
Actually, I remember another show that was like that. Dexter was like that.
Dexter had the same type of setup too. That was supposed to be a Nickelodeon show.
Like the very first episode when Dee Dee got into Dexter's lab, and she was running around like causing a whole bunch of trouble and stuff. It was the one where I think Dexter was turned into, I forgot, it was one of his remotes that turned him into a rabbit or something.
Yeah.
And that was the pilot episode that premiered on the What a Cartoon show. And then when the first season of the actual show came out, I remember that particular episode was like, what, the 6th or the 9th episode of that first season?
Something like that. It was the same setup.
That was the show's pilot.
It was just, like I said, I think it was like the same setup. You could tell because the animation looks cheaper and all that. And in this case, this is hilarious because all they are given is $20. And when you put out these pilots, you are given no type of money, especially in the 90s. You were given no type of money. So that joke right there.
You had to make a miracle out of $20 to $50.
So that joke right there, if you know the process of animation and all that, that is hilarious. That is hilarious, but accurate rendition of how much you are given as a budget.
The fact that he said that here's $20 and your free reign of Bighead Studios. Go nuts.
So they go every day by step. They come up with they got to come up with characters like, yeah, this is Betty Baloney. This is Betty Baloney and hey, look, Salami, get it, Salami. And then Filmer like, I call this one. What was his name?
Oh no, yeah, I remember. His original name was Lester Roquefort.
Roquefort is like, I was beside Angie, and Angie had this look like, what? And let me tell you something. I said it the last time we talked about Rocko. I love Mr. Lawrence. Mr. Lawrence, his voice is so hilarious. Like, every time I hear him on SpongeBob doing Plankton, I fucking die laughing. Because usually he's given the best dialogue and it's just the way he screams and like, wait a minute, what? It's hilarious, man. But him doing Filbert is almost on the same level. It's like when Filbert starts kirking off, that's when it gets hilarious. So it was like they did that. Then they had to come up with a storyline. Now, I told this to Angie, and agree with me if you don't want to, whatever. I'm Rocko. Chris is Filbert. Eris is fucking Heifer. Oh, That is how it is to deal with anything. Okay, D, you come up with a plan. Okay, D comes up with a plan. Eris, let's do this. Okay. All right, like, wait a minute, let's do this. Okay. And that's how exactly it was. They kept on adding, they kept on adding to the joke, going over and over and over and over again. And finally, after hours of just complaining off the first scene, I'm talking like the first frame of the episode. So Rocko finally, like, okay, finally. So we go to Betty Maloney, and she goes, "Oh, what a beautiful day!" And Salami says, "I hate bologna, Mr. Cheese, or Mr. Cheese." And he picks up the phone too. She picks up the phone, say, "Hi, whatever day," and go down, yeah. Okay, so now wait. And this is what it deals. This is how it feels when it comes to dealing with DJ Sue, because we be fine. Wait, do we even need a cheese at all? What? Oh my god! And Filbert and Pepper starts fighting, and Rocko has a look on his face like he's about to kill both of them. I died laughing. Don't worry, there's another part that is purely three black geeks again. But yeah, they do that, and then they have to animate, and they say draw. It was like step 7 to step 1539.
I love that book. I wish that was a real book of, what was it, the How to Make a Cartoon Show. It's a step-by-step book.
It's a dictionary.
That book had at least over 100,000 pages in it. If I could just get that as a real book, I would buy it.
That was a dictionary reference type book, man. It was big as shit.
The fact that it says step 9 to step 1, like 100 or something thousand.
Draw lots and lots of tiny pictures, and they kept on messing up, and finally they had to, do it the old way. Now, we say we love hand. You will hear me and DJ Sue go on and on about hand drawn animation, but here's where the one part where we know it's the truth. Hand drawn animation, when it comes to getting an emotion, is a bitch. Oh my god. Yes, computers have made it so much better for hand-drawn animation to be flown to be pieced together and all that. But even then, man, but back then, especially, before anything digital came up, it used to be a pain in the ass. And you just see like next cell, then next, and they just copy they're copying every cell, each piece by piece by piece. Holy crap! And I thought to myself,
which that reminded me of how many times that they had to draw like the same thing over and over and over and over just to get one frame of animation.
Now see, that answered our question from earlier when all those people were drawing the telephone over and over and over again.
Now, and the thing that got me was that was just for one frame of animation. Then I thought about how a lot of cartoons back in the early, like mid to late 90s, how they had to draw certain scenarios. I remember one from an episode of Family Guy, and it was that episode where Joe was feeling inadequate about himself, and when he started crying in the bar, you remember as he was crying, everybody was slowly getting out of that scene. Like they wanted nothing to do with what's going on, right?
Yeah, they were just slowly back. Yeah, you were like, slipping out.
And I'm like, okay, like what's his face? Like Peter got out of there real quick. What's his face? Like Cleveland got out of there real quick.
Quagmire.
The one I felt bad for was the one for Quagmire, because I'm thinking, since this show is animated in Korea, I remember the commentary, they said that they had to draw at least 5 times as many drawings for just that shot of Quagmire rolling out of there in slow motion.
And the reason why, it was because it was in slow motion, because it only moved so slow. that kills me, man. Like how many cells they use, and even we was talking about Akira. I forgot which scene we said was like the first scene in Akira. How many cells they used to do the motorcycle scene, and how it was over like almost 1 million cells and all this. I'm like it was like a record. It's a record actually. How many cells they had to do record. I'm like, yo, that's amazing. You know what? You got to appreciate that. You have to. And finally,
that's why I have such a passion for traditional hand drawn animation, because so much work goes into it.
Yeah, and you know, like I said, I appreciate the benefits of digital. You know, how everything has become digital. It became a lot easier. Yes, it's supposed to be easier. You know what I mean? But there is something to be cherished. It's almost an artisan way of looking at it. You know what I mean? Like there's one thing to have a dresser from IKEA, and then there's to get a dresser that was actually built, hand built by somebody. You know what I mean? There's always a difference between the two, and there's always a different appreciation of it. So that's all that really is with that. But the part where again it turns into 3 Black Geeks is the editing part. Heifer is Chris. I'm Filbert. You know that part with Mr. Cheese? Yeah. I mean the part with Mr. Sausage, where he's having monologue. Yeah. He just opens the film and just have it pour it out. Yeah, you like that? Oh yeah. You know that cheese monologue? Throws it out the window and they just start fighting that. And while Rocko is just sitting right there. That's DJ Sue sitting right there as me and Chris yell at each other.
I'm just watching all of y'all just expose the damn film.
Oh, finally, Ralph was like, "Hey guys, you done with that film yet?" Like, I gotta hurry up, and they just like slam it together. And it was like smoking as they gave to Ralph. And then
Ralph Bighead's like, "Okay, super, yeah, I'll get it over to the executives, and we'll check it out."
He was like, I like to say it's about deli meats. Like, deli meats? Turns that shit on. Eris, I gotta be honest with you. This is coming from a kid that watched a lot of Ren and Stimpy. The fuck did we watch? Yo, there's a lot of scenes of Rocko that make you say, yo, what the hell? The Wacky Deli cartoon. They're just looking at the fat heads, and then it's, oh no, what a beautiful day.
They kept replaying that one frame of animation of Betty Baloney saying, "What a beautiful day," picking up the phone, "Hello."
I hate bologna. And then here comes Eris. I am the cheese. I am
the cheese. I am the best character on the show. I'm better than both the salami and the bologna combined.
Yo, sound effects everywhere. Yes, the camera, yes, that was original film that they actually did.
Yeah, I got the story on that one.
Yeah.
So both Murray and Richard Leroy, they filmed a live action meatloaf scene on Murray's patio with a wind-up camera to capture the colors of the early 1960s films.
That's how you do it.
And now Murray, he cooked the meatloaf, and Carol Wyatt, who was the color supervisor, placed press-on nails on her hand and used her hands in the scene. Now at first the camera didn't work, but then when Murray decided to end the shoot, the camera functioned, allowing for them to continue shooting. And now during the filming, 2 flies had landed on the meatloaf, and I always laughed at that part. I was like, did anybody notice that the flies were on the meatloaf? Now, Leroy believed that the flies had spoiled the shoot, but Murray believed that it enhanced it, and I personally agree that it did.
Oh, hell yeah, it did.
And so Murray got plates involved in the production of that scene until he accidentally broke them, and then he had to get rid of the plates. My favorite part besides the flies was watching was watching the Meatloaf get like pounded into mush by the color supervisor, because you're looking at the press on nails going in.
It was like, why? What was going on? And then
this was like the wildest thing that was shown to us as kids. For Rocko's Modern Life. Rocko's Modern Life, which is already an off the wall show by itself, but when you're adding in a cartoon in a cartoon's universe, you know it has to be more than over the top compared to the source material, which is Rocko.
And that's the thing that made it so awesome. I mean, not so awesome, but it made it so okay. All right. Right there, this is when Rocko became a bit of well, I want to say Rocko. Let me put it this way: the whole show was being tongue-in-cheek, real life, satirizing satirizing basically what happens in these situations. And the one thing that got me was, this doesn't make any sense. And I thought to myself, how did you think parents felt the first time they watched SpongeBob SquarePants? How do you think your parents, D, felt like when they watched Ren and Stimpy? The fuck am I watching? You know what? You want to know the only cartoon my kids have watched this whole time of me being a parent in the last like 6 years. That's a good one. 6 years. The last 6 years of cartoons. The only cartoon I didn't question what the fuck am I watching until I got to know what was going on was Teen Titans Go. Because Teen Titans Go had the nerve to be, oh, I get what they're doing. They're just being funny, ha 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 ha. And then when they got to season 4, here's me. The fuck am I watching? Teen Titans Go has gotten to the point where it's still satire, but at the same time it's like, what the hell are y'all doing? But then again, that's how a cartoon is supposed to be. The fuck is you doing? So they get to the end of it, and I love it because the last sound effect you hear is the gopher, yo! That's the last thing you hear.
That actually, the other thing that was used in that pilot was an excerpt from the Dutch Clog wedding dances, played by a band organ.
So they just got
that's where that came from, actually.
the old busted sounding music.
Can you believe that? For a show that came out back in 1996, this particular episode was aired in '96. The line, I am the cheese, I'm the best character on the show, is still popular on the internet.
It should be. I'm gonna start redoing that shit. Niggas is gonna know what the fuck I'm talking about too, man. I'm right there.
Going back to that old nostalgic critic skit where he said, hey, take the line from Suburban Commando, I was frozen today, just throw that in the middle of an argument and it would just shut down everything. I say throw that line out there. I am the cheese. I am the best character on the show.
I am the cheese. That motherfucker, that joke got me riled. So of course the producer's like, we love it. And then
Ralph's world just shut down at that point.
Yeah, Ralph was like, what? They show on the news that like fans love it and that kids are imitating its bad influences. Because I gotta tell you something about cartoons. Cartoons are always gonna piss off parents. No matter how sensitive the parent is, no matter how actual controversial the show may or may not be. It ain't like, here's the funny thing. We didn't grow up in a time where Steven Universe is pushing limits for cartoons for little kids. You know what I mean? Where they're doing adult shit on cartoon shows. We didn't get too much heavy shit outside of X-Men and maybe Batman. And maybe like a real special episode of like Captain Planet. We didn't get nothing a lot of heavy shit. You know what I mean? We got a lot of good writing, like good comedy writing, but we didn't get nothing heavy like it is today. So we got a lot of parents that see the heavy and they say, oh, our kids aren't ready for this shit. I'm like, yo, they did that same thing to us when Bart said, bite me. What is your problem? So parents are always going to bitch. Parents are always going to bitch.
I would say between I'm Bart Simpson, who the hell are you? That was a nice little running joke from that was a nice little running line, like running gag from 89 to 91.
Yo, man, there was a lot of people who just, like, I won't even say hate is a little bit too strong of a word, but yeah, hated how cartoons have this influence. And real recently, I won't even mention Harry Potter in this sense, but SpongeBob SquarePants. People were really seriously like, yo, is SpongeBob and Patrick gay? Here's me, maybe.
What? But you know something? Guess what? Didn't they did the same thing to us as kids when they when they used to go on about Ren and Stimpy.
Oh my God! You know what? That killed me because who was that? Lil Boosie came out like, yeah, all these cartoons turn these little kids gay, and my little sister, who I love to practice on when it comes to this back and forth, going back and forth. My sister was like, yeah, but he right though. I mean, they be wild today. We ain't had no gay people like that. Hey, Candy, like, yeah. Did you like cow and chicken? CD, I know what you about to say. No. Did you laugh at the red guy though? But did you laugh at the red guy though? That nigga was gay as hell, but did you laugh at the red guy? Yes, you did. Everybody laughed at that gay ass nigga. He used to run around with his butt hanging out.
He used to.
Ooh.
Yes, the ooh. Which is probably one of my favorite things from the red guy. Is
Charlie Adler.
He doesn't laugh, and he always ends his laugh with that ooh.
Not to mention
Charlie Adler, man.
Not to mention ass pointed up to the sky. Yo, you homo as shit, nigga.
Dude, that was always his mode of transportation, was him bouncing on his ass cheeks.
Yo, this dude, that like you, like, yo, there's gay and then there's red guy gay. Why is that?
I like that. There's gay and then there's red guy gay.
You know, one of my favorite characters that's really not a major character of Futurama is Hedonism Bot. Hedonism Bot is if red guy is Hedonism Bot if Hedonism Bot can move around. That's all it would be. Pour chocolate on me. That's all the red guy is to me. So, but yeah, so in this case, they were like, look like all these kids in Walla Walla, Washington, in Oklahoma, Nebraska, for gosh sakes, when are they going to stop this cartoon? I'm like, it's always a cartoon that's going to push that limit. And we're gonna feel as though that's gonna fall on kids, and that's gonna throw them up the wrong way or whatever like that. And that's just protective instincts, as not only as parents but as human beings. We feel as though you can't get too raw or show too much emotion or too much anything to kids that's gonna overwhelm them. But then again, we got Steven Universe now, and they got lesbian triangles on that thing. Who knew? Who knew? Progress. I didn't see it coming. It's like, D, y'all watch he's like this. So D, you cool with it? Yeah. So do your sins like this? Here you go there. So Dad, D, so you like that progress? I love that progress. So do your kids watch it? Fuck no. Ugh. Sight nah. Real talk, my kids don't watch Steven Universe because Gumball's funnier. Where the comedy at, nigga? This ain't funny. But anyway. So the two producers had me rolling. He say, Don, yes. Did you see those kids? Yes, I did. Do Ralph understand what him and his boys have done? I don't think they have. Ron, I think we got one heck of a hit show here. I was like this. How many times has that happened in Hollywood? That same exact speech. This is going to damage children. I think we have a hit. You know what, Eris? I'm gonna make all us millennials feel bad at one time. You know what that was said, guys? When The Real World had its 3rd season.
Oh.
Yeah. No, it wasn't.
Okay.
No, it wasn't. Until like the
I'll
5th.
I'll
No,
go a step
3rd.
further on that. You say when The Real World had its had its 3rd season, right?
Yeah, I think 3rd season per.
But then again, you know what? No, because the challenges came like damn near after the 10th season when they went back to New York.
Nah,
so
that was them.
I was gonna say when they introduced the challenges.
See, that was when they couldn't do no wrong. So that's when you can do that stupid thing.
That was when they found out. That was when MTV realized, hey, you know, two of our own reality shows have been going pretty stride for stride right now. Let's put them together. Let's do like a little challenge. Because Road Rules was doing this thing.
And also, stoners have not found no other station to watch except MTV, so we're surviving right now.
I like that stoners haven't found a channel to watch except MTV.
Yo, let's just be real. That's the reason why MTV survived for a good minute. Stoners in the 90s. Let's just be real. Keep that shit on BET or keep that shit on MTV. 1 and 2. Made their money. But anyway, so Ralph is like, I can't do this. I gotta sabotage the show.
He wanted to continue. He said, look, let's introduce something to the show. Let's introduce this jar of mayonnaise.
Mayonnaise? Wait a minute, what? Yeah, just hold on a shot of mayonnaise. But
like for an entire 30 minutes. For a whole 30 minutes, let it be just this shot of mayonnaise.
Okay, let's do it. So they do it. Now, yes, in a normal time, that would be stupid. Nah, this is R. Kelly doing ooh, it's just hot. And niggas just love the shit. and the mayonnaise, they said it was brilliant. A powerful Wahhovian tribute.
Now, hold on. Here's some extra lore that came from this later. After the show, like after the show was long since ended. So on April Fool's Day of 2013, Teen Nick's Midnight Block, which was the 90s Are All That, advertised a long lost episode of Rocko's Modern Life, premiering on March 31st, 2013. It was revealed to be an April Fool's setup, and the episode was an entire 30-minute running. It was just that mayo jar running for an entire 30 minutes.
Hey, dude, that shit was brilliant. I'm glad I wasn't that kid. I'm glad I wasn't that 21-year-old that stayed up and looked for that shit.
I mean,
but yo, that's brilliant. That's funny.
Like the episode was actually called, if I'm not mistaken, the lost episode was actually called, it was a lost episode, but they did actually hand out stickers that said, "I watched the mayo on the 90s Are All That." I would have loved to get that sticker.
And because it was Rocko's Modern Life, they only made like 6 of them.
Right. Now some more lore on this mayo jar. The shoot for that mayo jar was an illusion of an experimental cinema from the 1960s, and pretty much it was inspired off of Andy Warhol.
Yeah, I knew that's what he was trying to say. I was like, I get it. So Ralph was like, fuck it, let me go to the studio. He went to the studio, and this is pre-internet.
That's when he just tried to overexpose the film. He said, you know what? Let's just do it. Let it be completely overexposed.
No. Basically what happened was when he heard that guys were fighting, like, no, put it in there. No, you're going to expose the film. Ralph heard that. This motherfucker opened the door with a spotlight beaming into the room.
He put a stage light behind him.
He was like, oh gosh, I didn't ruin the shot. He's like, but I think you did. Don't worry, it'll be fine. Bighead.
The whole thing's overexposed. We don't have We have to do it all over again.
Don't worry.
It'll be fine.
Next thing you know, he's like this. Bighead scores again. Total darkness. Genius shines.
It's like show is even more popular, which is true. Both of those attempts made the show even more popular than the Fatheads.
Now, yes, we have seen that this has happened in real life, but I know. Look, let's just be real. No, George Lucas didn't make Jar Jar Binks and thought it was going to be so stupid it was going to work. You know what I mean? But still, you know what I mean? This has happened before where he was like, nah, dude, I'm going to get out this contract. All right, this person is... Yo, because you know what? I was really afraid that... who was it? What was that name of that dude off The Simpsons? Roy? I was really afraid Roy was going to be a real thing for 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah. The Poochie episode.
Yeah, I was really afraid of
Roy. Hold up. I'll never forget the first time I saw that. I said, wait, how long was Roy staying there? I don't remember seeing him in the previous episodes.
Yo, at least American Dad has this rule where they have characters show up like that, but they only show for a max 5 episodes. It's because there was one episode where somebody was like, Francine was talking to Bullock. She was like, wait a minute, don't you have a little Indian son? Yes, but he is not in this episode. I'm like, wow, this is not one of those times. So, but anyway,
So after he realized that the show is getting more popular, despite his best efforts to sabotage the show, he decides to go back home, and he asks his father for some help.
I asked my wife, what the fuck is this? And the only thing we can come up with is when you leave the house, your parents do some weird sexual shit. Yo, why the fuck was Ed in a hamster wheel chasing Bev? Bev was cracking up. And I just gotta be real. I gotta be really real. Her pussy was probably wet as a mother. Look, y'all know. What? Why y'all getting mad at me? She was like, oh, Eddie. I'm like, yo, I don't even want to know. And the way it was so funny, Ed opens up the door. He's like, son, give your old man a hug. He's still in a hamster ball, by the way. Ralph has this look like, hi, Dad. So basically, he uses Ed. He goes to his dad to ask him, is there a way to stop the show? Ed has a way to evaporate Rocko, Filbert, Heifer, and the dog. It was like, Dad...
Dude, he didn't just have a way to get rid of him. He had the Death Star / Mr. Big from Moonwalker Death Ray.
Yo, where did he get this money from? Yo, he had scientists working on this. It was like this. And it was so funny because,
it was the same lizards from Conglommo.
Yo, he got too much pull at Conglommo, bro. Anyway, he was like, you know where he got this from? You know where he actually got this from? He got this from the episode of Zanzibar, where he became like the run who he had to run the EPA or some bullshit like that. He didn't know that he changed the money over and siphoned funds so he get more money for himself. But anyway.
I'll never forget that. I'll never forget seeing that, man. But when I saw the Death Ray, I said, "Oh my God, it's Mr. Big's Death Ray."
So this motherfucker, he was like, "Well, Dad, I don't want to kill them. I just want to ruin them all, ruin the whole studio, and sabotage the show.
I just want to ruin the show. That's all I want. I don't want to hurt them."
And Mr. Bighead, oh. Well, if my calculations are correct, son, we can just use the satellites, use the satellites, his Rocko surveilling satellites, where he'll shoot a beam at the satellites. The beams will hit the polar ice caps, melting it, and will wash away the studio. Here's me. Hey, 20 years from now, you won't have to fucking worry about that beam. son.
I said the same thing. I'm like, isn't that funny how that worked? So they melted, right? And Heifer is on his way to the studio, and he's on his way to the studio. So he gets there, blows out a tire. He's trying to repair it. He pulls out a jack, and he starts cranking it. And instead of jacking up the car, he ends up jacking the entire Bighead studio.
Yeah, on one side, totally vertical.
And so as the Bighead Studios is hanging high above sea level, where after the ice caps had melted, we just see this giant tidal wave come through, and it washes out all of Hollywood, leaving Bighead Studios the only studio left.
Yo, why in the world? I said, wow, Heifer not only has the world's best luck, but he also has the world's biggest jack. Where did you get that thing from? Biggest and strongest jack. Where did he get that thing from? And so finally, after getting his helicopter taken down by fans, Ralph walks into the studio, grabs whatever the guys were looking at, and eats the film. And Rocko goes, "That's an episode of the Fatheads."
Yeah, he was like, "That was actually a Fatheads episode we watched."
And like, he just burping it out.
Episode of his new episode of Wacky Deli. Right there, Ralph spits it out. And
haven't you noticed I've been trying to sabotage you?
He said, I've been trying to stop you guys at every single point. He said, you guys have been ruining the show and keeping me in my contract, and I've been trying to stop all of you since day one.
And Rocko does give a true statement. I understand that you're caught in your contract, Ralph, but you can make this situation better than it needs to be. You can actually put your whole foot into it and start loving what you make as an artist. Yes, it is not what you want or something that you really think is like something that's not fulfilling you. But what you are doing is filling so many people's hearts with joy. So that means you need to be the best artist you need to be to give people what they want, which I totally agree with Rocko. Yes, I am more onto the artist side to always do what is in your heart as an artist. But sometimes you gotta migraine in that shit. Matt Groening. I'm pretty sure Matt does.
I like how he basically told him, why don't you put your art into an episode of Wacky Deli? I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with it. This is your show. It's the most popular thing on TV right now. Just do it. Go ahead and give it a try.
Yeah, man. Like, dog, it's your show. Do
what
it.
do we get from Ralph? Yeah, Rocko. Yeah, Rocko. Yeah, Rocko. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna make this the best episode of Wacky Deli in all of my life. Bug-eyed and everything.
Yo, you hear the classical music canceled.
Not just that. You know what that? I know you recognize that little piece of art that Ralph was doing.
What the fruit bowl?
If you don't recognize it, the thing with with Salami and Mr. Cheese dancing, that was actually that was taken. Yeah, that was a direct spoof of the mushroom dance from Fantasia.
Oh yeah, and that's what I got when I saw that. I was like, you hear the classical music, I was like, he's trying to make it all classy. Nah, nobody cares about that shit. Nobody don't. And see, that's
the thing. Like the Hollywood Post that shows the. No, I'm sorry. They don't even call it. Like, I love the newspapers. That's the other thing I've been saying. I love the newspaper articles on Rocko's Bar Life. So it's actually called the Hollywood Poop. Wacky Deli was ruined. It's canceled, folks. People hate it. And you see a picture of Ralph Bighead with a shit-eating grin.
It was like highbrow episode too much for fans, And all of the fans have left. They're not mobbing Ralph no more. And Ralph was like, "You fools! You don't even know what real art is! I'll show you!" And then 10 years later, in the middle of the desert, Ralph, with a spoon art, whittles down a big old stone carving of fruit in a bowl. He was like, "My gosh, please tell me this is not another mirage. I've done it! I've done it!" And then somebody comes out.
That's actually pretty good. Did you see that new episode of Wacky Deli?
I mean, the first season, before that new guy came up and messed it up. I like how symbolism. We have seen artists who get away from the art that made them famous and made them big time to do something that really fulfilled them. Not everybody else, but fulfilled them. And when they have done that, everybody gives them the same response. Wow, that's pretty beautiful. But you know what was awesome? That first shit you did, that shit was hilarious, bruh. Yeah, I really didn't like it. Yeah, I know you didn't like it, man, but I loved it.
Now here's some interesting trivia. Now, I said 10 years later. Guess what year it was?
That would be 2006, right?
Yes, sir.
And that would mean that Camp Lazlo was out in 2006.
Isn't that funny how that all comes together?
That's funny. Camp Lazlo, by the way, me and Eric, that's, like I said, if you can ever see it whenever they show it, I think it's going to be more of a Boomerang cartoon. Soon we're going to start seeing them more on Boomerang eventually, because especially Cartoon Network is pushing the hell out of Boomerang lately also as a streaming service now. But it's underrated as hell. It's like Rocko's Modern Life for a newer generation. It's funny, you know what I'm saying? But it makes me think, like, and I always thought that too, like, is this the show that Joe Murray always wanted to make? What I think, like, nah, I can't be, because both of these shows almost mimic each other in a way.
That's what I was gonna say. There's no way that this could be like.
Oh yeah, totally different.
Like, quote unquote, always wanted to make, because if anything, Camp Lazlo is the spiritual successor to Rocko.
Yeah, it's not. It's like, let's just be really real. Yes, the humor is different. Still is the same. Well, okay, the humor is the same, but it's the like, you know, the whole setup is way different. The character structure is different also. You know what I mean? So it's all different and who knows? It might have been Joe's, it might not have been Joe's, because I do believe that Joe probably left and did write a book and nobody read that shit. It happens. And guess what? That happens. We have these things, we think our favorite artist is going to be our favorite artist because they did that one thing, and then boom, they bring out something that's deep and thought-provoking, maybe not to you, but probably to themselves, and it goes over everybody's head. It happens all the time. That shit happens all the time, and that's what made these two episodes very funny and very interesting. And it makes it more awesome, the fact that it had something to do with Joe Murray, the person that made the cartoon that you and I obviously fucking love. You know what I mean? And it's just awesome 2 episodes, man. Anything else to add about it, man?
One of the things I did love about this episode of Wacky Deli, and it goes back to what you had said earlier. This episode, in so many ways, is pretty much us. Like, it's me, you, and CJ. This is 3 Black Geeks when we were trying to put our podcast together.
Yeah, now it makes me laugh even more, because that was me. Yeah, you like that? Nobody thought that joke was funny. Fuck you, D.
And it relates. I would say that Wacky Deli is like the perfect episode you want to show to like a group of people that are trying to put something together, and eventually they do put something together. But I mean, because it's like a mirror. It's like looking at a mirror.
Yeah, it is. It really is. It is like seeing because everybody's going to fight with each other. Yeah, everybody's going to go through the same grind with each other. So it's a growing experience. And some people have lived that experience several times, because I got to believe that several of the writers on Rocko's Modern Life is like, yo, I've been through that twice going through a shit pilot trying to put it together. Because I thought, who was it on the guy that JQ on Qual, the dude that created Regular Show. He had something to do with Flapjack and Adventure Time and like one of the other shows, and I had to think to myself, that dude probably had like 3 different pilots. That Cartoon Network was like, hell no, but get on this shit. Like, hell no, we don't like that, but get on this shit. Finally, he got what he wanted to make, because the show that he wanted to put out only could have been put out on an Adult Swim, and Real Talk, it would have never been as big as on Regular Show. So it's funny how those pilots go too, because sometimes you deal with pilots who are straight up, let's be real, the cartoon fails for whatever reason. It may not be the cartoon they're looking for at the time, and just real talk, it was shitty. And What a Cartoon Show had plenty of shitty ones. Boom, what was it? Not Boom, not Kablam. Kablam didn't do no pilots. But they had another show like
Kablam was its own thing.
Yeah, Kablam was. It was
actually the What a Cartoon Show. The What a Cartoon Show.
No, but Nickelodeon had its own.
I'm gonna go 90s on you on this, D. The What a Cartoon Show was the preview channels put into a half-hour block.
You know what? Nickelodeon had another one. Had the same type of program. Actually, like a couple years when What a Cartoon Show stopped showing theirs, they had the same type of variety show. Like I said, that's where I think Chalk Zone came from there too. And like I said, Adventure Time. And Adventure Time showed up on there like in 2007, and didn't become a show until like 3 years later. So that happens too, man. But yeah.
And thinking back on the What a Cartoon Show, you think back to all those pilots that were shown on that show. Like I know for a fact that What a Cartoon only lasted like one season.
2, I think 2. I think 2 actually.
It was two seasons of What a Cartoon Show.
No, 1 season, because it ended up becoming cartoon.
With all the shows that came through, that just came and went, some of them actually went on to become, one of the biggest shows, on network television, and that was Family Guy.
Yeah, because that failed. Yeah, because you're right, that failed actually. That pilot
that Seth MacFarlane put on Cartoon Network was pretty much the basis of what ended up becoming Family Guy, and it's actually a cartoon that not many people know about.
Yep, is rare. It's actually, for what it is, I want to say it would have been the best thing to actually put together to try to make a cartoon, to make it a little bit highbrow for kids. It probably was the best thing. It didn't get hired, but for what it is, it was funny. For what I remember, it had a talking dog on there. Seth MacFarlane did the voice. You know what I mean? So yeah.
The funny thing is that you pretty much saw Brian and Peter before there was Brian and Peter.
Yeah, you did, and that was kind of cool as shit, man. You know what? We had to do this, man. We had to put together something that we promised to do for a long time. And next band we promise to do the same damn thing, because we got fucking dragons to slay. You know what I mean? So I don't know if we're gonna do Duckman and the Critic. I don't know if we're gonna do Baba Black. I don't know if we're gonna finally do a Red Brown movie, because we can't keep on putting the Bam episode up there. We can't keep on putting the Bam clip on there and not do a Red Brown movie.
We gotta do Red Brown.
We gotta do at least one, man. You know what I'm saying? So we gonna figure out which one we're gonna do for that one. You know what I mean? So anyway, that's Bam. It's been nice talking to you, Eris.
It's always good talking to you too, man.
All right, man. Peace.